Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. So, for this week, I'm calling this episode Escape Mode. And honestly, I feel like I'm just constantly trying to find an escape. So, I'm trying to find things to fill my time, but not just bullshit, like things that are actually meaningful. And I was trying to sit and process everything that's been happening the last few weeks because, like I mentioned last week, and I mentioned it a few times before, my birthday's coming up and it's usually a big time for reflection. So right now I'm in that mode. I'm starting to prepare myself and kind of get ready because I don't want that day to come around or that week to come around and I feel kind of caught off guard, or I feel like, what have I been doing with my time? So I'm like, nah, you know what? Let's start that process right now. Let's get into it right now. And another part of today's episode, too, is I saw a story that a friend of mine posted, and she's been through so much in the last couple years. And it honestly, it blows my mind where she's at, what she's been through, and the fact that she's gotten through every single thing one day at a time. And I'm like, yo, that shit is so inspiring. So fucking inspiring. And we talk pretty often and we try to stay in contact as much as possible. But of course, life, we're both pretty busy. She has her stuff going on. I have my stuff going on. But we always find a common ground and we always find moments where we can connect and we can talk really, really quickly about whatever it is that's going on. And just, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. But she posted something and it really hit me. And it kind of had to do with all this stuff too, which I thought was really funny because I had already wanted to talk about all this, just the needing and the wanting to find an escape and where I put my time, my energy with all that. And I know that's a pretty constant thing that we talk about here, right? But there's a reason for it. There's very much a reason for it. And as time passes, I constantly find myself in this state where I'm like, this matters so much. And I know that it's going to matter so much to other people too. And the more that you talk about it, the more people start to think about it. And I know, at least with certain things on the show, like even if we talk about it often, more and more people are thinking about it. And I know that because it's being brought up in conversations that I'm having with homies where they're like, hey, dude, you know what? You've talked about this a few times. Honestly, I never thought about it so much until you start talking about it, or I never really paid attention to those types of things. And now I do. So that's what all this stuff is about, right? It's just these constant talks about certain things, certain subjects. And yeah, we'll shift it up and we'll change it, but there seems to be like a theme that will carry through. And it might be through certain periods. Like right now, this is kind of the period that I'm in. Is just trying to reflect. I'm trying to see what's going on, who matters, why do I keep certain people, why do I keep certain things, and just try to make my adjustments. Trying to make my adjustments because I'm going through a change right now in my life. And I'm like, all right, what do I need to make my stable ground? What do I need so that I know I can stand here for a minute and I'm going to be all right? Or when I venture out, I can walk back here and we're good, we're stable. You know what I mean? Some of the things that I noticed have been bringing me that sort of peace, that sort of joy, just kind of that make me feel like myself, like I know I've been doing a lot of truck stuff lately, whether it's been off-roading, whether going with the homies or I've been out with Sebastian or anything like that, going out with all like the Jeep people and just kind of exploring in that sense. Cause I really do need that. I need it and I love it. That stuff's been really good for me. Like even this past weekend, I was working on Sebastian's Jeep Saturday and Sunday, which was pretty rad. But it's like those types of things. I'm like, man, this is where it's at. And even for myself, like I got to work on my own personal truck. I had to do some maintenance to it like yesterday, even the day before that. And it feels good to spin a wrench again. Because honestly, I haven't done it in a while. I haven't really had to touch anything, haven't really had to do anything. And especially after off-roading, there's things you just have to do, right? You're bolt checking, you're going over things, going over this, going over that. Like I noticed after my last trip, there's certain parts of my truck that I'm like, ooh, you know what? Got to replace this, got to do that, got to do this, got to do that. So I miss that. I really do miss that. I miss going to either pick up parts or ordering parts, having stuff come in and being like, oh, hell yeah, today we're going to get down. Like there's something about it. I know for some people, they're probably like, it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal for me because it's such a big part of my life. It's not just being in the automotive industry, it's doing and building certain cars because that's what I grew up with. It's what I do. It's what makes me feel like home. And aside from truck stuff, I'm missing the queue a lot. Like there's a big portion of me when I'm in that car and when I'm driving that car, I feel more myself than anything. Like I love my truck, and I don't get me wrong, the truck is definitely a really great extension of myself, and I feel that. I feel like I'm one with that, and I really enjoy it. But there's something about the queue that means so much more. And maybe it's because of how it was built, maybe because of the amount of people that were involved with it, the things that I've been to, the stuff that's kind of revolved around it. It's really heavy. So, like, I need it back in my life. And right now, I'm kind of dealing with, honestly, it's a really stupid issue. Like, I'm having an MAP code, and I've replaced everything in the circuit. Everything. Every single thing. Every component. Every possible actuator. Every line. Every anything. It's all been replaced, and nothing is fixing it. And what's trippy about that code specifically is like when you have an issue with that because it's related to vacuum, the car shouldn't even be running properly, like at all. It should be not acting like a misfire, but it should be having some sort of going into like a limp mode type of thing, like because that system in itself is very detrimental to that car. So if something's wrong, it literally will not run. So it's very, very sensitive. That Q's in that specific motor, the VH41, runs primarily, I'm not going to say primarily on vacuum, so but also at the same time it has a major vacuum system. Like the amount of vacuum lines on that fucking vehicle is absolutely ridiculous. Like if I was to show you guys a full map, it wouldn't even make sense, because I remember both for myself, even for Albert, because Albert was helping me out with it too, right? We just sat there and we were like, dude, are you fucking serious? Why is there so many fucking vacuum lines on this car? Like when I was replacing all the actual lines themselves, when we were doing all the service on it, I had ordered a 15-foot spool of vacuum line, right? We start cutting everything up, we're sizing it, putting it all together. Dude, I think I maybe had like a foot and a half left ish. Like that's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like to have that much vacuum line. And all of it's super fucking important. Like one thing's backwards, one thing's wrong, it's all fucked up. Car won't run right. So again, I'm having that issue. I can't fucking shake it. Can't get rid of the code. It's really fucking annoying because that car will pass smog. 110%. The shit passes with flying colors. And it sucks because right now I can't smog it. Right? So I got to figure out a different method. That way I can get certain things taken care of and I can get her back on the road. But I need that shit, man. I miss it. And honestly, going to all these like these lowrider events and, you know, just classic events and stuff like that, it makes me miss it more. Even though it's not necessarily lined up with that scene, I see how everybody is driving their cars. And I'm like, damn, I miss that. I miss that feeling. I miss that feeling of cruising and just kind of doing my thing, listening to music, not giving a fuck about anything else. Because when I drive that car, nothing else matters, you know? I'm not trying to get all fucking existential about it and bust a Fast and the Furious type of shit. Oh, for these 10 seconds or more, you know, nothing else matters. Nah, none of that shit. But in reality, it is kind of like that to a certain extent for me. Because I don't think about anything else. I cruise. I'm living my life. I think about all kinds of stuff. I reminisce constantly in that car. You know, and I think about my uncle all the time when I'm in it, when I'm working on it, when I'm messing with it. Because I can only imagine stuff that he would say, things that he would do. And it's just like, I need that. I need that. So hopefully soon I can get it back up, be out on the street doing the damn thing. But, you know, what's funny is on that same note, last night I went to 240 Tuesday. I haven't been out there in a little while, but I had some time last night and I should be working on an edit right now. But I was like, you know what? I need to step away. And like not have my face buried in the computer for one night. So let's get out. So I went to go chill, do the thing. And it's kind of sad because like I don't miss the scene at all. And I've had that conversation quite a few times with certain people. They're like, yo, bro, like we see the content you're posting up. We see the stuff that you be doing. You know, what's up? When are you coming back to the JDM scene? I'm like, dude, I never left and I'm not leaving, but it's just not, it's not home to me. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like it's thriving. It doesn't make me feel like a better person. It doesn't make me feel like I'm doing something. And I just feel like it's in a really bad place. And for myself, it's like, I don't need that. I need somewhere that I feel that is good for me. I need things that are good for me. And not that the JDM scene is not good for me, but it's just, it doesn't give me the same sort of like thriving feeling compared to other places that I've been, especially as of late and the stuff that I've been doing, things I've been creating. So it's like, I need to be in that. Right. And again, it's like trying to find this escape where I need to find stuff, not just bullshit, but like good things to fill my time. So last night, if I would have just looked at it from a car standpoint, it's like it would have been bullshit. But looking at it from people that I can fuck with and have a good time with and just talk some shit and spend time in like a positive way, not just sitting there being sad about shit. Cool. That's what's up. That's a good escape. I'll chalk that up, right? So it's like being able to separate those two things. And it was good. So it's like last night, it chalks up to a good thing for me. So I'm glad that I did it. With that being said, speaking of like car events, like Sunday, I was supposed to go out to Elysian Park in LA, which is a park that's right next to Dodger Stadium. And Lowrider Magazine was going to have a massive event with this car club called LA Times. And they shut it down. I was so fucking pissed, dude. I was up 6 a.m, getting my shit ready, dipped out there. And next thing you know, I kept driving around. I'm like, nah, dude, like, what's going on? Right? Like, I would just drive around the mountain because Elysian Park is huge. For those of you guys who've never been or you don't know even what I'm like, anything about what I'm talking about, if you go look at it or you end up driving there sometime, you can drive around for a cool ass minute because you can go anywhere. There's hiking trails, there's all kinds of stuff. But there's one specific part of the park that's lined with palm trees, and then there's parking on the street, like not on the street, but like on that. It's like a little, I guess it's kind of a street, but that's where a lot of lowrider shit goes down, and it's really, really dope. If you've never been, it's really fucking dope. But I was driving around for, I don't know, maybe like cool 30 minutes. And I'm like, yo, where are all the cars at? Like, what the hell's going on? So I'm cruising, and then I finally pull up to this one section of the park. Parked up, and I'm going on IG, and I'm trying to find out what the hell's going on. People are commenting on the event. They're like, dude, what's up? What's going on? The cops aren't letting anybody park, because the cops were there and they were pissed. And I guess they had been there since like 3 a.m, kicking people out because people were trying to camp and get the right, get their spots and all that. So I end up talking to this one, like a park ranger, because I'm just cruising, chilling. And I asked him, I was like, hey, bro, like, do you know what's going on over here? And he's like, yeah, man, they shut everything down, XYZ. And I said, all right, cool. I know where I can go from here. So I ended up going to another park that's maybe like 10-ish minutes away. And I know stuff goes down there too. And sure enough, it was huge. There was a massive event going on. And a lot of the people that were at Elysian or trying to go to Elysian, they ended up going there instead. Because there's another park that people were talking about going to for the event, but cops were already there too, and they were already shutting people down. So it was like a lot of people were heading out towards Pasadena, and it had just kind of like spread out. But this event specifically was already planned, like it was going to go off. So I was like, cool, you know what? Plan B. And plan B ended up being the plan A in a sense, because it was fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like there's nothing I would have changed about the way Sunday went down. Like, it sucks that everything got canceled with Lowrider Mag, but it was just one of those things. It was a sold out Dodger game. It was all these politics, all this bullshit. So that's why it got canceled. But it was fucking sick. And it felt so good to be somewhere that I wanted to be. And I had done it for myself. It wasn't just to go shoot something. It's like, it's something I genuinely wanted to do. And I try to pay attention to that feeling. I try to pay attention to those motions, because when I can do that and I can show myself that, like, hey, if you want to go do something, you can go do it. Whether it's you want to go eat somewhere, go eat somewhere. Even if you have no one to go with. If you want to go drive somewhere and you want to go see something, go do it. Even if you have no one to go with. And this whole thing, like, I wanted to do it for me. And it felt good to do that. And I feel like a lot of us don't do that. We won't grant ourselves the time. We won't grant ourselves any sort of moments where it's like, we want to go do something because it genuinely makes us feel good or it genuinely makes us happy. And that's what I'm, again, trying to be hyper aware of. So I was like, this is something I want to do for me. That's why I didn't want to give up when I was at Elysian. And I was like, nah, dude, like, I came out here for a reason. Like, I want to do something. I want to see this. I want to see some shit today. So I'm glad I kept going because it paid off. And eventually, again, when I rolled up to another park and I said, yes, sir, this is it. This is why the fuck I kept pushing this morning. This is why I kept driving around. This is why I kept doing my thing, because I needed to find this. And it was like finding a pot of gold, you know? It was just like that. Like, I couldn't fucking see it. Like, I saw a rainbow in the sky and I saw it and I'm like, dude, I got to find where the fucking end of it is. And that's exactly where it was. People everywhere, all kinds of music, cars, good vibes, families. And I'm just like, yep, this is where I was supposed to be on a Sunday. Weather was beautiful, had the camera going, shooting all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this is the move. This is the move. Like, I have some content coming out tonight and on Friday from the event. So y'all are going to see what I was talking about. And granted, that's just like a fucking drop in the water. But either way, I'm excited to show you guys that because, man, it was a great event. I met some really cool people too, which is always really nice. That's another thing I really love. And I know I've mentioned it countless amounts of times. That's one thing I love about the scene is like people are always so cool and they're so warm and welcoming. And I'm like, man, I love that. Versus, again, like last night with like JDM stuff, it's not like that. And I mean, there's different reasons why it's not like that. But so you can't really compare the two. But the culture is very different. And I do feel more at home being at Lowrider, being at classic type events. So it felt good. It felt good to be out there doing the damn thing. And I really don't know how else to explain it to y'all. It felt so fucking good. So fucking good. Like, I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't texting nobody. I wasn't doing none of that shit. It was me, my camera, and just getting down. Because I wanted to focus. I wanted to have a good time. Because at the same time, I want to produce certain types of content. I want to shoot certain types of things. Because it's for me. I want to produce the best for myself. And in turn, I get to give you guys the best of what I can provide. Which is always what I want to do, especially in the space that I'm in. Being a creative, I want to create the best work for myself to make myself happy, because if I'm happy with it, I can share it with you guys. I'm not going to release something that's some whatever willy-nilly ass bullshit. I'm not here for that. Because I won't be happy with that. That's not something I want to see. It's not something I want to share. If I think it's dope, if I fuck with it, if I love it, tight, then I'll share it with you guys for sure. And that's what I focused on. And it felt good, you know? And it kind of brought me to this thing because when I was walking around the park, you know, I had my moments where I got to chill. There's trees everywhere and shit. I would just sit there, look at some of the pictures and video I was shooting. And it just reminded me of something too, because I'm like, man, as of recent, as much as I've been trying to get myself together, I feel like people just been on some fuck shit lately. And which is why I've been kind of shifting my circles, shifting my attention, shifting my love, all of that stuff into certain sectors of my life that need it more than others. Because I'm like, you know what? I got to pull from this one because this isn't really serving me anymore. And it's like, honestly, if you're not happy in your life, that doesn't have anything to do with me. Like, nothing. Go to therapy, go get yourself together. In my opinion, that's just me. Your happiness is entirely up to you, y'all. You got to figure this shit out, right? If you're not okay, find out why you're not okay. Work on it, get better, do better, be better, all those things. Do it for yourself. Because that shit, it shows, it radiates. And if you got bad vibes or you feeling some sort of way and it rubs off on somebody else, next thing you know, you're affecting other people. And it's like, oh man, what the fuck's going on? No. We don't need that kind of domino effect in the world right now. We got too much bullshit going on. Way too much bullshit. Y'all watch the news for like not even 10 minutes. You're going to be like, oh shit, we got problems. You go on IG, problems. Everything's just problems. So I'm like, nah, I don't need this. I don't fucking need that. You know what I mean? And you got to spend your time with people who understand and align with your values. People that just add good things to your life. And again, that's why I'm shifting up where I'm at with my life, where I'm shifting who I'm spending my time with. And it's nothing personal, but I have to protect my peace. I have to protect my space. I have to protect so much throughout my life, because if I don't protect it, nobody's going to protect it for me. You feel me? And that's where we start to have issues. It's like people aren't really aligning with where I'm at in my life. So I'm like, okay, that's okay. You don't align with where I'm at. Maybe it's time to part ways for a little bit. And that's all right. And it's a hard pill to swallow, especially for myself, because I don't like that. I don't like losing people. I don't like distancing from certain people that I wasn't used to having distance with. But it's like sometimes you have to insert that to protect yourself. And at the end of the day, something that's also really important that I'm having a kind of a hard time with right now, but I'm, again, because I'm reassessing everything, I got to constantly remind myself this, like, it's a privilege for people to even be the smallest part of your life. The fact that you'll share a moment with them. And if the person doesn't appreciate you or that, or your time, your love, your energy, or anything that you do to carve out this moment for them, people aren't shit. That's why I'm just like, man, people really on some fuck shit. Like, you had a long ass day. Let's say you're working, you're doing all kinds of shit, whatever, and you're tired. You're beat to absolute dick, right? You're done. You're ready to clock the fuck out. And then let's say somebody that you're involved with hits you up in a romantic sense, right? And they're like, hey, I want to see you. You know, let's get dinner. Let's get something. And you're fucking wrecked. You've been going at it since whatever time in the morning, 6 a.m. And let's say it's fucking 8, 9 o'clock at night. But you make the time. You say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's make it happen. Let's go get dinner. I want to see you. Even if it's for 30 minutes. Fuck it. I want to see you. You go, you have this interaction, and then you realize later, you're like, why the fuck? Let's say you hit them up the next day or some shit. No response, or things are kind of shoddy, or things act kind of weird after that. And you're like, this is the things I got to think about. And that sounds like a very specific example, right? I know. A lot of y'all probably judging me right now. Like, Rob, what the fuck did you do? Don't worry about what the fuck I did. Just listen to what I'm saying. But it's like, those are things that I have to constantly be aware of. And I have to remind myself. And it's moments like this, things that, conversations I'll have with certain people that are just like, damn, dude, okay, remember, it's moments like this in time that will reinforce why you have to remind yourself of this, right? Like, why it's a privilege for people to have your time. And if they don't fuck with it, or if they're going to act some sort of way, then it's like, cool, you know what? Chalk that up as an experience, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And that's it. Instead of beating yourself up about it. Because it's like, it is what it is, right? It was a moment in time. If you enjoyed it, cool. If everything's good, cool. That's it. Strip everything else back. How was that moment in time? It was great. Wonderful. Okay, let's move forward. That's how I'm trying to view everything. That's how I'm trying to look at my stuff right now. So a homie of mine wrote this, and I want to read it to you guys. Not only is your time non-refundable, so is your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, which are fully interconnected. Tell me that shit isn't the truth, y'all. Tell me that shit isn't the truth. Because it is, right? Our time is non-refundable. Wherever we spend it, whoever we spend it with, that's it. It's spent, right? We are, some of us, I would say, have time to give. Some of us don't have time to give. It depends on your situation. Depends what you got going on, where you're at professionally, all that stuff, personally, everything. But when we give time to people around us, it's like it's a gift. And we're never going to get it back. That money's already spent. So you want it to go somewhere good, right? You want to invest it into something good with good people, good things, good vibes, everything good. But shit starts to kind of fire back and you're like, I wasted my time. And sometimes it is that way, right? And we realize that, and it's a shit pill to have to swallow, where you're like, fuck, I wasted my fucking time. What was I doing? I thought this was a worthy investment. Turns out it's shit and I lost my ass. And it happens. It's cool. Sometimes you got to start from ground zero. And that's normal. That's life. I feel like if we didn't have situations like that, we wouldn't know how to value time. And I know for myself, in the last year, I've definitely been put in a lot more situations where I've had to realize that. And certain things, yes, I keep making poor investments. Yes, I fuck up. But it's all right at the end of the day. Because that's, for me, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with learning shit the hard way to a certain extent. Because sometimes I have to do that. I have to experience it. Because I'm very much like, the curiosity killed the cat type of thing. Like, that's me. I'll find out. I want to find out. I'll ask questions. I'll do certain things. Even if I might not get the answers that I want to hear, I still need to find out, even if it kills me. So with certain situations, I've had to learn that I'm like, I can't keep making this investment. because I'm gonna end up broke and I'll never be able to come back. And that's what scares me sometimes, because I find myself making certain investments that I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You're fully investing in a stock right now that you know is gonna crash. And it's a matter of time. And that's a hard pill to swallow too, right? Because we can all kind of see that. I think if you just kind of let your mind, body, soul really evaluate certain people in your life and certain things, certain situations, whether it's family, anything like that, friends, romantic partners, you kind of know what's going on. You kind of know. It's just that we choose to see certain things a certain way because we want to see the best, or we want to see certain qualities. So we highlight that and we ignore the rest, right? It's like ignoring the red flags type of situations. But man, you got to be careful with that shit. You really do. And with all that being said, too, it's like we have to stop tolerating people, certain behaviors that make it worse, because honestly, life's hard enough on its own. So why are we going to constantly welcome things that make it shit harder? And that's what I have to do too, because I'm like, man, when I sit in bed, I've really been trying to practice, you guys, this whole gratitude thing. Like when I start my day, just kind of sit there, meditate for a minute, and just kind of be thankful in a sense. Like reflect on the stuff that is good, reflect on good things, and also constantly ground myself. I've been having to do that shit a lot. Not that I'm not used to it, but I feel like I've been having to do it a lot more than normal, or at least my normal, right? Everybody's normal is a little bit different, but I'm constantly having to tell myself, like, dude, you're feeling this way because of the thoughts that you're having. You're not feeling this way because of something that's actually happened. So you're going through these moments and you're stuck in your head with hypotheticals and you're making yourself feel this way. So I have to bring myself back to reality, slow down, like physically, like slow myself down. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, here we are. We're good. Everything's cool. You're safe. You're in a good place. Nothing else matters. You're good. But it's tough, man. It's really fucking tough. And I know a lot of y'all who are out there having your own battles, which we all are, but I know certain people are having really tough ones out there. You might be in a spot right now that you just feel is completely shit. Maybe you don't have a support system. Maybe you don't feel supported at all by anybody. Maybe you don't even support yourself. Sit down and be easy with yourself. So at the end of the day, it's like I've said this multiple times, probably hundreds of times on this cast. At the end of the night, at the end of the day, however you want to say it, we are with ourselves. Even if you're laying next to somebody, you're in your head. You have certain thoughts. You have certain feelings that nobody can change. So if you don't take the time to be patient with yourself, understanding and loving, you're never going to be able to get through it. You have to be able to grant yourself the grace that you give onto other people. Because we're so quick to help other people, I feel like. We always want to, actually, hold on. That's probably as soon as I said that, a lot of y'all are like, wait, what the fuck? And you know what? I don't take that back, but at the same time, a lot of people don't want to help people. But I feel like people in our lives that we fuck with, we will want to help them, right? But we won't help ourselves. And why is that? Sometimes we have to ask ourselves that question, and sometimes it might be a really fucked up answer. Sometimes people might not feel worthy. They might not feel they deserve it. They might not feel like they're enough. And those are things that we have to fix, right? It's like I talked about in the beginning, if you're not happy, that has nothing to do with me. Like, you have to go fix that. And that's how I look at it. Because for myself, if I'm not happy, I have to fix it. I can't expect a homie to call me or take me out to go get pizza or something, and that's going to fix my problems, because it's not. I'm going to come back home and I'm going to be stuck in sitting in the same issues, dealing with the same things, because I didn't want to face it, right? And that's a whole thing. We have to be willing to face whatever sort of darkness, whatever sort of cloud is kind of following us. We have to turn around, face it, fix it, and then we can move forward. Even if it's slowly, you still have to take your steps to move forward. And with all of this being said, I was trying to think of some advice, as we do every week, right? I try and sit there, I try and go through this shit. And this is also something that the same line that I read from you guys earlier, that a friend of mine wrote, she also wrote this too. And I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is the advice. I don't know how exactly I'm going to organize this cast. I don't really know. I have an idea what I want to talk about, but you know how I always do my bullets. I always have my notes. I always do my shit. But I said, when I saw this, I said, this is the advice. This is what it's all coming down to, is this line right here. So this is the advice for the week, y'all. Your life is the perpetual sum of every choice you make daily. One more time. Your life is the perpetual sum of every choice you make daily. I want you guys to think about that. Bring it up to your partners, bring it up to your friends, your family, anybody. Talk about it, because it's the truth. It is the absolute truth. Everything that you do, it adds up at the end of the day. You have the choice to make your day go a certain way. If something doesn't work out in the morning, you can choose to stick on that path and keep it going on that. Next thing you know, by the end of the day, you're like, today was shit. It was fucking horrible, XYZ, whatever. Or even at that moment when that one thing went down in the morning, you have a choice to go the other way too. Chalk it up. Say, fuck it. It's all right. Then keep it moving. Next thing you know, end of the day comes around. Say, it wasn't too bad. It's a pretty good day. And there you go. And I'm not saying it's that simple, but to a certain extent, it kind of is. You have all the power every single day to wake up and start your world differently. You want it to be on a positive note, handle it. You want to be on some super negative shit and you want to feel some sort of way, you're entitled to that, but that's entirely up to you. That's your choice. You're an adult. You make your bed and you sleep in it. That's the way I see it. You make your bed and you fucking sleep in it. And people forget that a lot of the time. We make decisions in our lives that we are the only ones that have control over it. So you got to remember that shit. So again, your life is the perpetual sum of every choice you make daily. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Send me messages. Let's have conversations about all these things. Leave them down in the comments, however you guys want to do it, whether it's here on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Shoot me a DM. Again, let's go through it. I love it. I love having conversations with you guys, dealing with like the DMs and all that stuff, because it's really beautiful. It's what makes this project so much fun. That's why I keep doing it. That's why I come back every week, because I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen this week. I wonder who's going to respond. I wonder what's going to happen. How's it going to get reposted, or if I'm going to meet somebody new, because it happens. And it's really exciting. And again, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. So I'm sending y'all nothing but love, light, good vibes, all the good things that help you have a beautiful rest of your day, an incredible weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one.